This is a Headgum podcast.
I'm going to read you 15 statements. You're going to tell me as quickly as you can if you think that what I just said is true or false. If you get 10 or more correct, you get to keep your job.
Wow.
If you get fewer than 10 correct, this will be your final week of employment with the show.
Okay, let's do it.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Why?
I just don't, you know what I'm worried about?
What are you worried about?
I'm worried, it's like when you give a kid dessert before they've done their chores or something.
Sure.
I'm worried that everything's just downhill from here.
So excuse me, you think after a year and some change of work on the show behind the scenes, I still haven't done my chores?
I just worry that this was what it was all about. And now I'm gonna see a steady decline in work and productivity.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a leftist.
Of course.
As much as the next guy.
Of course.
But this is a business.
Yes, sir.
And people have to work.
Oh, yeah.
And so I need you to show up to work, you know?
I'm not going to change up one iota.
Really?
I'm going to be normal. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me after this.
I'm going to be normal.
I'm not going to wear sunglasses inside.
The promise of normal.
The promise of normal is something that I hold dear to my heart because I do like to be... You said something really nice to me, and I think it was on one of the Patreon ones. You called me a rock. You called me a rock.
You're heavy and in the way.
Mr. Heron.
Hey.
You don't want it, Mr. Heron?
The sirs and the Mr. Herons bit might have to be over.
Okay.
Let's address that on the pod.
Okay.
It just is like, it's almost like you say it like it's funny, but it's like, I am your boss.
Yeah.
Do you know?
This is my one respite.
Yeah.
This is my version of, because I'm like, you are the boss, and I'm kind of the middle manager in this world. And so this is my version of throwing a pizza party. This is the fun that's not really fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your whole body is tense right now.
Yeah.
You seem really on edge.
I'm a little on edge just because I genuinely hate how I look at every moment. And I'm worried about... but I love being on camera and I love being seen, but I do, like, I'm not necessarily in my head about it, I wouldn't say, but I am thinking about having to watch this over and over and over again and be like, God damn it, what happened?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we should work on that.
Yeah, I think so.
And also, it's real, though. I mean, there's something about being in front of high-quality cameras every week for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I feel I've had to really... Everything on the internet has gotten me to a better place with, like... Well, immediately took me to a really... I never thought about my appearance before I was doing internet stuff. Of
course.
I never thought about the way I looked. When I was on stage, I was never wondering if I looked fat or if my hairline was pushing back too much or if I was looking older in the face or anything. Never.
Yeah.
The second I started doing internet stuff, I started picking apart my appearance and going, oh, I didn't used to look like this. And then I look at pictures from before and go, yeah, you looked like this.
Yeah.
You just didn't ever think about it and you were fine with it. And then, yeah, the podcast, the high quality camera every week of it all, you have to kind of distance yourself from your physical form.
Yeah, and I'm also like, I've been trying something because I think I have some form of legitimate body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Because I see how I look in mirrors, which apparently is more accurate to how you actually look than like a camera lens or like a video or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I like that. And then I'll see like somebody will have filmed like a video of me doing stand-up or like a sketch that I didn't shoot myself or whatever. And I'll be like, who is that person?
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I don't know if it was you that said this. Somebody said this recently and it really rung true for me. Somebody was like, I've stopped caring about how I look in photos. I care about how I feel in photos. Like, was I happy? Like, oh, I was happy taking this picture with my friend that I took a photo with. And I'm trying to bring that in.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
I really like that.
Thank you.
I have definitely, Virginia and I talked about this a little bit maybe on tour. I used to be one of those people who if someone took an unflattering picture or video of me and posted it on their Instagram story, like a friend, I would message them back and be like, please delete this.
Yep.
And now I don't care if I look like a fucking bridge troll.
For sure.
I'm like, you post whatever you want. I do not care.
Yeah.
It does not matter to me.
No.
You have to get to that place, I think, because it's just there's so much picture and video and capturing of image that I'm just like, and by the way, I like the way I look.
You're very handsome.
Oh, Chance.
You're very handsome, and I'll say this to anybody who asks. You're a very handsome man, and I think you are... you said this once. I keep like referencing things that you've said before just because I listen to you so much, just in my life. But you said something about like, if you know my silhouette, you know who I like.
Yeah.
Like as far as like anonymity goes, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you are like a well-built character.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
nice.
Yeah. Like on
Nice.
Tony Hawk, like you're a well-built. It's like, oh yeah, all this is checking out and lining up, and there's some synchronicity in here that's beautiful.
Chance, I think you're quite handsome, brother.
Thank you.
I think you have nothing to worry about on the looks front.
Thank you.
I would love, love, love anytime you ever want to talk about clothes or hairstyling or beard. I'm always happy to talk about it.
Well, you brought up, well, this is years ago. You asked me, we were at like lunch in Chicago or something. You were like, would you just give me like $200 and I'm just going to give me $200, all your sizes for like pants, shirts, all these things. And I'm just going to go to like Target and a couple other places and I'm going to redo your wardrobe. Would you let me do that? And at the time I was like, what's wrong with my wardrobe? Basketball shorts and hoodies aren't cool. And I've thought about wanting to take you up on it again.
I would still do it. There's nothing wrong with your wardrobe. I believe that conversation was spurred out of a conversation where you said, "Oh, I feel like my clothes are basic," or so. You would like express being like, "Oh, I don't really know how to get the look that I'm looking for, or what things would look good on me and not on other people."
Yeah.
And I am pretty good about understanding what would look good on somebody versus someone else. Not everything looks good on everybody, and that doesn't mean that everybody shouldn't wear whatever they want.
Yeah.
Everybody should wear whatever they want.
Yeah.
But objectively, certain things create different lines and different aesthetic appeals to different body types.
For sure.
That's just how it is.
Well, and I'm remembering now, this was like at the tail end of 2019, and then I told myself, one of the things I kept repeating to myself going into 2020 was, I'm going to live out loud this year. I'm going to get colorful with my clothes. Like, I'm a silly, like, I don't want to be like a clown, but, you know, fun patterns, fun colors, things like that. If you find, like, my New Year's Eve outfit that in 2019, like, it was like a fun, like, stripy shirt with a white blazer and, like, purple pants. And I was like, this is going to be it. This is going to be. And then I wore the same outfit for 9 months inside a house. Yeah.
Miss Covina.
I loved her so much. She was so good to me.
Well, she's still here.
By the way.
By the way.
By the way.
Not that you're acting like it.
No.
That's not funny, Chance.
interesting.
We shouldn't be joking about stuff like that.
Who are you to say what is and what isn't funny?
The king of comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Well, I think we did it.
Any questions? Oh, the arbiter of truth.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, sir.
It has to be kind of weird for you that we've been friends for so long and now so many hours of your life are listening to me talk.
Yeah. It's I've developed not what I wouldn't call it a numbness to it.
Okay.
But there is
Okay.
there's just a I've gotten to a point where I'm seeing it almost as like just data. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is a funny piece of data. This is a sincere piece of data. And when I'm like going through the episode and doing the notes and stuff, it's not like I'm like, oh, and here goes Caleb again. It's like, oh, this is a good moment. Oh, this is a good moment. Oh, we need to cut this. Oh, like it's much more streamlined in my head. But it is weird, especially after like during the tour when we've just kind of been on top of each other for like a month and then doing like an episode edit being like, all right, well, we'll see you in the morning. And then turning around, it's like, and now more Caleb.
Yeah.
Just on my computer.
I'm just there haunting you.
There's worse people to be haunted by.
Absolutely. But I am haunting. And I wonder if you ever, you know, for the people who don't know our lore, we met in college.
Yes.
Doing college improv.
So much fun.
Effectively. A lot of fun. Did you ever in a million years imagine that this would be the thing?
No.
Yeah.
I sure didn't.
Yeah, me neither.
I sure didn't. What did you think was going to be the thing?
When we first met, I didn't imagine that we would ever really be talking again.
Correct. Yeah.
We were enemies when we met.
We did not like each other.
We did not like each other.
No.
And that was mutual.
Yeah, it sure was.
And I thought if I never have to talk to that guy again, it would be the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah. It wasn't that serious. But I did. I was like, you definitely pushed my buttons for reasons that I think part of it is just that my friends liked you.
Yeah.
In a way that I was like, well, why are we liking someone new when we've already got the group? Like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was just like childish, stupid, being 20 stuff. And then I think also the comedy stuff of it all, I felt a little bit like I hadn't yet given myself permission to pursue comedy.
Yeah.
I felt like somebody had to kind of tap you on the shoulder and go, hey, you're funny, you're welcome to try. And you had already given yourself permission in such a big way.
Yeah.
In like very much a a very like straight guy kind of way, where you were like, I am funny and I'm going to go pursue this. And you were right. You should have been.
Yeah.
But I hadn't given myself that yet. And so I kind of pathologized that in you. And I think I resented you a little bit because of it.
Sure. And that's fair.
And I was annoyed. I was just like,
Yeah.
who does this guy fucking think he is?
Yeah, I was up on my high horse a little bit back then when it came to comedy, just because I had so many. I'd just been doing it so long at that point. Like
Yeah.
a lot of our friends started doing comedy like in college. I did my first stand-up set when I was like 15. I started doing improv when I was like 11 in like the local scene in Springfield, Missouri, and it was all just like I felt like an elder statesman already, which is so annoying to people my age. And I honestly, what absolved me of all of that, and I think when our friendship really started cooking, was when I stopped kind of associating with like the local comedy people and just gave myself over fully to the campus comedy scene. Because it was the first time in my life that I had been doing comedy with my peers, like people my age that also have aspirations and goals and dreams and energy for those things, as opposed to, you know, a bunch of people. Not necessarily like a character judgment on them, but they, in their own heads, they're like, I'm on the wrong side of 35 and I don't really like my life. This improv thing started out as something fun and now it's turned into something where I just kind of use it to control young people.
It's a different energy.
Yeah.
And it's why college campuses are so magic. Like, even still, when I go to a college gig and I'm on a college campus, you just feel an energy of like every person who inhabits this space on a daily basis feels mostly correctly that their entire life is ahead of them. And that energy is in the fucking bushes.
Yeah.
It is in the, like a college campus, you just feel optimism.
You can milk it out of like the mascot.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah, you could milk the mascot.
You could go up to
You could
Boomer
jerk
Bear.
optimism out of the mascot.
You could jerk Boomer Bear, and it's just a string of optimism flowing out of him.
Yeah.
And that was fun to say.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you mean. It is like there's something about, and what's really sad is when people are wrong.
Yeah.
I know people in my life that was just like, oh, those 4 years were the best for you.
Is that sad?
I think it's a little sad, just because it's almost never they got like just so unlucky that that's the case. It's they decided in their mind that, and they kind of gave up. You know what I mean? Like it's like that with high school too. A lot of people I went to high school with are just like, oh yeah, this is friends' parents were telling me when we were in high school. It's like, it's a special 4 years that you'll never get back, which is true, but it's like some people I feel like heard that not as, oh yes, that was a special 4 years, and there's going to be many more special 4 years in my life. I think they heard that as, well, have fun now, because after this, it's all downhill.
Yeah.
And I think that's very sad.
I think there could be a sadness to it. I mean, it's funny to me when I think about that a lot. When I think about the idea of peaking, I go, well, in every life, one of the chunks of time has to be the best chunk.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people's are going to be high school. Some people's are going to be college. Some people are going to be their 50s.
Yeah.
But everyone has to have a best time of their life. Like,
It's true.
That is I have been very lucky that my life has gotten better every year. I've enjoyed each chapter of my life more than the last so far.
Yeah.
And I have big hopes and dreams that it'll continue that way. That's not to
too.
say I didn't have massive struggles.
Yeah.
High school and college sucked in a million ways. Being broke in Chicago sucked in a million ways. This part of life that we're in currently has tons of drawbacks. It's just, I think it's a perspective that you either choose to make this year feel better than the last one based on genuinely pursuing the things that you want and who you actually want to be, or you don't. But I think what makes me sad about the idea of college being the best part of someone's life is just so much of that is that the real world sucks.
Yeah.
Not living within walking distance of affordable food, affordable usually because you're taking out loans you shouldn't be taking out, but still it's affordable in the moment, that you can go and reliably get good food, that you can reliably walk to a bunch of people you love and have a million things in common with, that you can reliably walk to a library and free resources. There's therapy if you have a breakdown in the student center. There's writing help with your papers. We don't do any of that in the real world.
No.
There's no help for anybody. And if there is, it costs fucking money that you don't have.
Yeah, it really is like, and we especially had such a great college experience, I think, just because we were laughing nonstop. By the time you and I were seniors, we had gotten to the point where the school was coming to us being like, would you be like the ambassadors of a good time at these events? Like, would you host these things? Would you, like, we were like on campus, like the go-to guys for a good time, which was awesome. And I like, you know, I hear stories from people's like college experience while I was in school with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I was miserable the entire time," and I'm like, "That sucks." And that's the other thing is I don't feel like any sort of superiority that I feel like the best years are still to come for me, or that every year is good over people that are like, "Oh yeah, college was the best time of my life, high school was the best time of my life." That's perfectly fine. I say all the time, it's like, I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Like, what I want out of my life is crazy. I had crazy goals and things. Some people's goal is to be a junior high football coach, and they love their life, and I want nothing but happiness for those people, because I can see, it's like, I see how you light up and are passionate about this thing. It doesn't have to be my thing. My thing's crazy. It's crazy that this kind of worked out. You know what I mean?
It's also okay for everyone to not understand each other's things. I just want everyone to be happy, and I want better communities for all of us.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that sucks is so many people leave college and they move off to, some fucking city to get a job, and it's hard to make friends. And luckily, the thing about comedy that we have, I think, all in this room benefited from is these like built-in big communities and kind of extenuations of school in a way.
Yeah.
We moved to Chicago and immediately got into class.
Improv classes.
We started a new school. We basically started comedy grad school.
Yeah.
And you meet so many new people, and you're paying for it. I mean, I luckily had like a box office internship where I exchanged labor for improv classes.
How fun.
Oh, good deal. Good deal. Certainly something a for-profit business should be doing. But it was great for me because I couldn't afford the classes. So, I don't know. We get to continue that kind of community by virtue of this thing that we do, but it's a very specific hobby in that way.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of other people struggle with that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't know. I tell people all the time, even if like you're not interested in comedy or whatever, it's like, take an improv class. If you move to a new city, you'll make 5 new friends. Yeah. Like bare minimum. It's, I don't know how it is now, honestly. I feel like the improv bubble burst a little bit, and I don't engage with that community in the same way that I used to. But
I wonder if they feel the way that we felt, because we felt when we were doing it that we were kind of at the tail end of a good thing regardless. Like,
the party seemed to be ending.
We already felt that the party was kind of over with improv and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if they just feel the same way now, and if they'll look back and go, oh, the party's really over now.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just how it is now, that we all think the party's over.
Yeah, it's the Tony Soprano thing. It's like, I can't help but feel like I've got into a good thing at the very end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do wonder if that's how everybody felt. I don't know if it is, because our era of like Chicago comedy specifically, I felt like it was the lowest amount of people getting famous from Chicago. Like, you know what I mean?
Really?
I think so. Just like as far as like going on to become like movie stars and shit. Because there were
we haven't had the time yet.
I know, but there's just like so many, like you look at so many of these different eras, and it was like every single person that was on the Second City main stage for like 15 years, for the most part. Not every person, but at least 1 or 2 people from the Second City main stage for like a good decade plus became a household name in some way or another. And I feel like that was something that we were kind of losing there at the end because of the internet. Yeah. I think the internet kind of took away the allure of like, oh, the only funny people are people who have cut their teeth in this system in Chicago, so we have to come and watch them, or this system in New York, whatever it is. It's like now they have this whole new sea of talented people that it's like, oh, not only are they proven to be funny, they're proven that a massive audience wants to watch them on a screen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, also, it's just so we don't really have mega stars anymore. True. There's so few mega stars, and there are many people that we come up with in Chicago that are huge on the internet that we don't even know about. I'll sometimes hear someone be like, oh, did you hear about David? And I go, what's going on with David? They go, oh, he's got 10 million followers on TikTok. He does reviews of sandwiches or whatever. Yeah. And I go, fuck, I didn't know that. Rock on. Go David. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sure, I didn't know that. And that's happened a number of times. But I want to talk a little bit about the podcast.
Yeah.
So we tell people your perspective of how this started.
Boy, okay. Hello, people. So you and I had a lunch. And I'll actually, let's walk it back even further.
Actually, picture this.
So it's a log cabin in
Garden
Missouri.
of Eden, yeah.
January 3rd, 1995. Snow billowing down. No. It was during 2020, you and we moved to LA about the same time. You let me put my moving boxes on your truck because I couldn't afford one, and you were moving with someone. So
keep in mind, I also couldn't afford one.
Right.
And Shelby Wolstein was paying the majority of the moving truck costs.
And thank you, Shelb.
And shout out to Shelby, and shout out to her mom.
And shout out to her mom. I wish I could have been on that trip because it does sound fun. But I flew to LA. Anyway, we're in LA, deep pandemic, everything's closed. Caleb and I would do this thing where you and I would drive around just kind of aimlessly.
That's all there was to do.
Yep.
And we would drive from the Valley to WeHo to fucking Inglewood. We would just drive the city of LA.
Yep. And just look at the buildings that were closed and be like, that looks like a fun place to visit someday. that looks like we could really have some fun in there. Ooh, I want to try that restaurant if they make it. God, I hope they make it.
Highways are empty.
Yeah, highways are empty.
We were getting from North Hollywood to Silver Lake in like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And there was something you had started to have, like, you know, successes and like things were starting to cook for you a little bit. And I was still very much spinning my wheels, like career-wise, and like just trying to push a rock up a hill that I didn't even know what hill it was. And you said, you were like, I can't wait to figure out what the thing you and I work on together is. I don't know what it is yet. I don't think it's a sketch show. I don't think it's a stand-up tour. I don't know what it is, but I think it'll be special when we figure it out. And I heard that as, you're going to have to wait for a while. I was just like, okay, that's fine.
Well, I felt an energy from you, I think, since college that was like, come on, man, why aren't we doing stuff together?
Yeah.
And I did feel like, you know, it worked out, so maybe I was right, but maybe I was wrong, who knows? But I felt like we just never had the idea.
Yeah,
I felt like we were going to force it, and then we were going to force something that would make both of us resent each other.
Yep.
And I just felt every time we would talk about doing something, I was like, this is not it.
Yeah.
Like we would have the wrong thing, the wrong idea, and it never felt right. And I genuinely, I mean, obviously now we know, I meant it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, you heard that and we're kind of like, fuck this guy.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I said, fuck this guy. I don't want to be his friend. Twitter videos are dumb. Fuck human resources, all that stuff. No, I heard that and I was like, I genuinely do believe, like in the moment I was like, you know, I am very impatient. So I was like, no, I want it now. I want it now. Let's go pitch something now. But I was also like, I think he might be right. Like, you know, a good thing, let's wait. You know, because I'd seen you'd done projects with friends before, even just like small ones in Chicago for no money or whatever. And I'd seen how like rushing into them might not be the best thing if it's not the good idea, whatever, kind of like what you were saying. So we just kind of just remained just friends, no work, anything for years. And then something came up to where we were at a lunch near my house here in LA, and we were eating wings, and you just got like a wild look in your eye. Hey, folks,
If you're eating with me,
this man loves his chicken wings.
if you're eating with me, there's a 90% chance we're going somewhere that has chicken wings. Just in case I decide I need them.
Yeah. What is it about chicken wings that captures you so?
It just works.
Yeah.
The whole thing works. They're delicious.
Yeah.
They're not impossible to get wrong, but they're pretty hard to get wrong.
Oh, of course.
You can trust them from a lot of places.
Yeah.
My mom worked at bars when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And she would bring chicken wings home. They just are filling and they never upset my stomach, which is so funny. I think that's a food that like sometimes does upset people.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken wings always work for me.
Yeah.
I love them.
I love them despite I cracked a tooth on a chicken wing bone with you.
Yeah.
It was the chicken wings you ordered for us after I quit that job after one day.
Yeah.
Which we could tell that story later. Getting through the podcast, we were eating these wings and I like this. This is fun.
I know I do it sometimes. It is
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
really
yeah.
smooth and fun. And playing with the way that the cord is entangled in there.
Oh goodness. Oh,
Welcome to the couch, brother.
I am just in I am in a bathtub of sensory happiness.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah. Where was I? Oh, right. The podcast. And you got a wild look in your eye. And you were like, you had your little wing and you were like,
I don't know if I had a wild look in my eye.
wild look in your eye. You were touching my hand and you were like, hey, brother. No, this wasn't the scene at all, but because people actually want to know this. You're like, what do you think it would take if I bought a couple cameras and some mics and some lights stuff? What do you think it would take, like, to make a podcast? And I was like, oh, I know exactly what, and we started just talking logistical things and whatnot. I was like, maybe we don't have to buy it. We could rent some stuff. I don't know. And I was just like, do you want to do a podcast? Because you'd done a podcast before and had stopped. And by all accounts, I thought you would never want to do a podcast again.
I wasn't sure if I would because I thought with Shelby, like with Keeping Records, I thought we had a great formula. Like Shelby and I had a good rapport. We liked the content. I thought the Keeping Records, I thought the Golden Records element of it, I still think it was a great frame for a show. I think it was a great idea for a show. And I loved it and I liked our guests. I fell out of love with it, and it didn't do what I needed it to do, and partially that's because I didn't put enough into it.
Sure.
And also partially I just think like I wasn't clear on my goals. I would have quit that podcast to do pretty much anything else.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted like validity from the industry. I wanted like writers' rooms, and I wanted credits, and I wanted stuff like that. And that was also much more important to me. And then freedom became more important to me. And now that's why a podcast makes a lot of sense. But you were saying.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what, after that first meeting, you know, I went and I thought up stuff, and there was a real spark between both of us where it was just like, I came over to your house, we had like a long list of like potential names for the show, like potential guest pitches. We sat there, like I think our first meeting ever outside of the Wing Place, that's where we came up with like, what if we did a true or false segment? What if we did the idea of truth? What could that mean? Like that's so true with Caleb Hearon, or get to the truth, you know, just all this like just beautiful creative energy between us that I loved, because I felt like we hadn't had that in so long. And it was like, even in that moment, I was like so happy, even if the show was a success or not, because I was like, oh, we're back. Like
we're doing something.
We get to do something again. Like we used to throw all these shows no one ever saw in Chicago and in college, and you know, just the bits that are just for us too. Like I felt like we had kind of lost a little bit of that, and so like in creating this podcast, it got to the point where we're like, oh shit, we actually have to do this. Like we signed some stuff, and we've got a studio, and we're gonna actually go out and we're gonna do this, and we made it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, it's also was this perfect, like you had this whole love of podcasting and like internet stuff, that you had developed these skills. You had gone off and worked for a bunch of YouTubers, and you had an actual love for it. I don't have a big love for it. I don't love the internet. I don't care much about YouTube. Like that's just my reality. I don't I don't watch YouTube. I don't think about YouTube. I know my friends who do YouTube, and I like their stuff. But you had this whole, it was this clicking into place of like, I was going on other people's podcasts for years, and doing great episodes of their show, and they would love it, and their fans would like it, and then they would ask me back, and everyone was saying, why don't you have a podcast? And everyone in the whole entire world, and all 8 billion people were saying, why don't you have a podcast?
They were tears in their eyes.
Everyone's saying, sir, please have a podcast.
Sir, oh my God, pounding on the walls of your home.
You're too funny, you're too gay, they will kill you.
Oh, you're charming, you're such a conversationalist, oh my God.
Sir, please, your drip too swaggy.
Oh, your lips, the way they move, the algorithm loves it. Ooh.
Interesting that you tapped into my lips, because that actually is one of my things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was this perfect combination of like something you genuinely loved doing, and it's why I asked you, and something that I was interested in and maybe good at. And I think I told you when we started, I was like, dude, I got to be honest with you, I'm like not cash rich right now. I can pay you like $75 a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, the second it makes any money, I will pay you better than that.
Yep.
But I was like, from the outset, I am losing a bunch of money. And I think I bought you a new laptop.
You did.
I was like, I'll buy you a new computer because you need one.
Yep.
And I can do that. I can like put that on my credit card.
Right.
And then I will give you like $75 a month, and that's all I can offer.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, that didn't last very long.
It didn't last very long, because I also, the little thing about what's going on in my life during that, you're right. So I had like gone off, and where I found my way into like a career or like quote unquote success in this business is working on YouTube channels. I was in writers' rooms for various YouTubers. I got my start with this guy named Rumi Official on YouTube. He's a Swedish music reviewer, basically. I was writing sketches for his ad reads, and that spiraled into a bunch of other stuff like Mr. Beast, Eric, Meat Canyon, stuff like that, which I'm super proud of and happy with for the most part. Some of it wasn't great. A lot of it was good, though, and it was also fun to be creative and working in something and seeing like, oh, this video that I helped write got 100 million views.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. But it was coming into a point where I had just, one of the writer's rooms I was in ended kind of abruptly, and I had gone back into falling into my like safety net job doing customer service for the Second City in Chicago, the legendary. I was selling improv classes and tickets to improv shows in Chicago from my house in LA.
Yeah.
And they fired me. They let me go.
Well, and they might have been right to, because there was a period. Can I say this?
Of course.
I mean, that job's over.
Yeah.
There was a period of time there where we were recording the show, and so Chance would just be like, I need to be at all the records, but I can't take off from my job. And so you would just like decline everyone's calls.
Yeah, I would.
He would decline customer service calls from the records of the podcast.
Yep, I'd be producing the show from my work laptop, and I would like see a call coming in, and I would decline it, and then I would like chat to all of my coworkers and be like, "Sorry guys, my internet's down" or something. They're like, "How could you send this message?" And I go, "Don't ask questions.
Don't worry about it. Bye, 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 bye,
bye, bye, bye, bye. Nothing bad, all good."
Yeah, so they might have been right to get rid of you there at the end.
Yeah, well, and you know, that place is that place, and they were very good to me for the time I was there, and then I did kind of unceremoniously get the boot out at just, you know, it was not a great time because this YouTube job had ended, the podcast was still in its infancy where I was making no money. The show was making no money. It was so new.
You're making no money. I was losing money.
You were spending money. Yeah, you were hemorrhaging money. And then like a bunch of crazy personal stuff was happening too, and I was really like that like early March 2023 would it have been 2024? 2024. Yeah, I don't know years. 2024 was just like such a tumultuous time for me, and I was like, this has to work. Like, this podcast thing has to work because if it doesn't, I truly don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. And it did.
And it is working for now.
It is working for now.
It is working for now.
What's that mean?
I'm not planning on leaving it.
Sure.
But you never know. You know, it's funny. Like, it's, I would have never imagined, if you had asked me 1.5 years ago if I thought I was going to do a podcast, well, I went through coming back into deciding to do a podcast, I went through such a stupid round of, no offense if any of the execs who I talk to are listening, but good fucking God, these people. I mean, some of them are cool and some of them aren't, but they're just so... They're so visionless, so many of these people. They're so visionless. And even like, I remember there was one podcast exec when I was pitching the idea of me having a show. I was honestly, and I'm so glad none of it worked out, but I was going out to companies pitching for me to get like a minimum guarantee deal, which I had on Keeping Records. We had a very generous minimum guarantee deal from Headgum that they were not recouping on. I'm probably still losing money off that deal. But I was out trying to get a minimum guarantee deal because I was like, if a podcast can just reliably bring me like $2,000 a month, that's good enough in the background. Like I can keep working on other creative stuff that like pays the rent, whatever. But I remember one of these meetings, an exec asked me what I thought of the show. And just to give you a scope of the kind of people I was having to chat with, they were like, what do you think of the show? I was like, I want to talk to like, I will, of course, talk to some famous people, but I want to talk to people I really give a fuck about. I want to talk to comedians that no one has necessarily heard of. And then I'll talk to, and then I mentioned a friend of mine who is quite famous. Yeah. And I was like, I'll do both. And they were like, really good job on that name drop. Like, kind of like making fun of me. And I was like, it's not a name drop. That's a person I'm friends with, you fucking psycho.
Yeah, it's Carrot Top. Everybody loves Carrot Top.
Also, what you asked me who I'm going to have on the show, and I told you.
Right.
It was a lot of meetings like that, and then them being like, yeah, we wouldn't give you a minimum guarantee. We wouldn't do video for you. And I was like, you are risk averse, cowardly, visionless people that I just don't understand how you're even in business.
Yeah, it's the last whispers of old media trying to grasp desperately at the coattails of new media. Yeah. And I see it all the time. I see these people who it's like, and they aren't even necessarily like quote unquote old people. Like people that are relatively like still young and have a lot of career ahead of them are so short-sighted because they're like, no, the system is this. The system was established in the 20s with the talkies. Yeah. And this is how a deal works, and this is how an advertisement works. And it's just like, no, you fucking moron. Like more people watch like a 19-year-old boy doing backflips in his room with his phone than watch Saturday Night Live now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and people just don't want to believe that. It scares them because they're like, no, I sacrifice so much for this specific system, and you're telling me that it's all blown up and I have to learn a new one? Fuck you.
And by the way, some of the people that I talked with about the show were cool and got it, and it just wasn't the right thing, and that's nothing against them. Yeah. But there is an element, like most of the people that we met with about me doing this show before I ended up doing it independently with you, and then eventually, signing with Headgum, who gets it more than any of those people do, that they were like, it'll never work unless every guest is somebody famous.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think you're wrong, and I think you're boring.
Yep.
And I think that you have no vision, and the fact that the only reason you're allowed to be a gatekeeper in this field is because you have capital. Yep. And you have nothing other than that. And I know you like to tell yourself that you have more than that you have taste and you have, you have all these great, you're like breaking people and finding up and comers. None of it's true. You have capital and that's it.
Yep.
And that's okay. They can keep having capital. But the number of people that told us that the show, the way we wanted to do it, wouldn't work is just very funny to me.
And it's even funnier now.
Well, and I have no idea if this is interesting to anybody, this part, but I find it interesting just because I'm like, I think so many people who listen to our show are creative in some way or on the internet or wondering if they could do this, that, or the other thing. And I'm like, yeah, I am so fucking glad that I didn't get a minimum guarantee deal from some podcast network. And they made offers, by the way. People made offers, but the offers were not appropriate.
No.
And I'm glad that I didn't take one of them and just did it myself. And if it's a lesson to anybody who's listening, I'm like, I hope if you're thinking about making something, you'll just go do it.
Yeah. And a lot of those offers, not for nothing, we can cut this, wanted me out of it.
Yeah, well, they sure did.
Which I didn't. That wasn't fun to hear, but I understand because they hire people to do what I was doing. You know?
And I told them to fuck off.
Yeah,
yeah. That was part of a couple of the deals is that they were going to offer a minimum guarantee that was very low, and they were kind of like, thank you for your service, Mr. Nichols.
Right.
Yeah, you can be on your way.
Yeah. Well,
which we didn't do.
I know.
I'm open to it.
You're open to...
Yeah, if any of those companies want to circle back with a bigger number, Chance is still on the chopping block.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. I've got a lot of transferable skills now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't...
That's why I don't feel bad about it. You'll be fine.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Thank
you'll
you.
land on your feet.
Yeah. I'm going to go do a podcast about theme parks in Branson, Missouri.
I think about this all the time. When I fire you, you're going to be fine.
Sure.
Because you've learned so much. It's like I've given you a gift of like letting you learn so much and make a living on this show up until the point that you get fired. You're going to be fine when I let you go. So.
Yeah. Will you say nice things about me to people? Like, will you give me a kind word in the street?
Genuinely, yes.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I'll call everybody and say, this guy,
Yeah. Say, okay, go ahead. Do one.
Also, Chance, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
When I fire you soon, I am going to...
Good.
Call everyone who works in town that you want me to. You tell me you're up for a job at iHeart. You tell me you're up for a job at iHeart. I'm going to call the folks at iHeart and I'm going to say, Chance Nichols. Yeah.
He brings dollars.
I say that guy.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I'm happy to do that.
Is there any specifics you'd like to go into just so I can know, like, when I have my big meeting, it's like, this is what they know about me. This is how they know. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to call him. I'm going to say, Chance is one of the guys. Like he does it.
Yeah, he eats. He has all the big dinners. He gets all the big coffees with all the right movers and shakers.
What?
It's like a dinner culture here in LA. People love to go to...
I want to clown you for that, but it really is a dinner culture. I want to clown you for that for the bit, but LA is a dinner culture.
Mm-hmm. And I'm at them.
It's a patio dinner culture.
I'm at dinner.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at the Tam O'Shanter having some burnt ends.
You lost it.
You don't like Tam O'Shanter?
I do, but that's not what the people... You have to pick... If you want to talk about an LA dinner culture, you have to pick a place that has a patio positioned on a busy enough street that everyone can be seen.
Oh, yeah.
You have to go to... You have to have dinner at Safi's. Because here's the thing about Safi's, though. Most people are going there because I think that they want to be seen. I'm going there because they have a lobster skewer that's transcendent.
Ooh.
And they had a crab fritter for a while that genuinely changed my life. Food there actually quite good. But yeah, you have to go to Angelini Osterio or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So that you can be seen dining on the sidewalk in Fairfax.
Yeah. And when I do that, when after a long illustrious career here on this show, when it comes to an end, that I'm sure I'll be consulted on. There'll be a grace period, and it'll be like a peaceful transition. I think the next step for me is I'd really like to direct and develop reality television.
Is that true?
No.
Okay. Nice. I was like, I'm about to be so mean to you. I was like, let me know if I should be so mean to you right now.
I've been watching so much of it. I know you don't particularly care for most reality TV, but I've fallen into Below Deck.
Yeah.
Have you heard about Below Deck?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me about it?
No, I don't have any questions. I think, look, we've entered this era over the last couple of years where people have decided that it's like a swinging thing where people have decided actually liking trash is high culture. And I'm not buying it.
Sure.
I don't think that liking trash is high culture.
Well, Below Deck isn't trash. It's super yachts. It's wealthy people going on vacation.
It's wealthy trash having dinner on a boat.
And that's the Ozarks.
That's the Ozarks, baby.
And I know all about that.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, I just don't. It's no judgment, but the resurgence in reality TV in general, and people going, oh, actually, it's actually about conflict, and it's actually about resolutions and communication styles.
Yeah.
It's actually three bitchy women fighting over drinks.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Three bitchy women can be very fascinating.
It's true.
But let's not pretend that it's something more than what it is.
Yeah, I don't think 1,000 Pound Sisters is high art.
No. I think that's like the grotesquerie.
Yeah.
I think the fat shows, the hoarder shows, it's all It's like sideshow at the carnival type shit. It's very base.
Oh yeah, well, and they try to package it as like, no, that's not what this is about. It's about a beautiful family, and it's like, why are you calling the show the amount that these people weigh?
Yeah, the show's not called Beautiful Family. I'll tell you that. It's called Big Fat Bitch Who Can't Get Out of Bed.
Yeah, and it is. When you watch these shows, it is like, I can't believe they agreed to be filmed in this like moment, this very personal moment that's happening.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me. But Below Deck, huh?
Yeah, it's fun. It's just like, it's a job. It's people working on a yacht. It's like hot like boat people that want their career to be boat, just going up to each other and like kissing.
Hot boat people.
It's like a hot boat boy and a hot boat girl. They're both like one is like a steward, the other one is like a deckhand, and he's Scottish, and he's like, right, you want to fuck, and she's like, oh my god, I'm from California, and they have sex, they have beautiful sex, and they don't show any of it. Obviously, this is Bravo, but you hear it like in the other room. You hear like the goose, like the squeals and the sex happening elsewhere, and it's magical because then you cuts to the captain and he's on Duolingo trying to learn his girlfriend's language.
Okay. I do think. Do you know how often when I'm having sex that I think about how cool it is?
Yeah.
I can't imagine how cool it must feel when hot people do it.
Could you? Yeah.
When like conventionally hot, like 23-year-olds both find each other and they fuck, I can't imagine how cool they feel.
No.
I feel cool doing my thing.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I get laid, there is at least some point during the middle of it that I go, God, this is neat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What a treat is this?
Sometimes I'll do this move. I'll be like,
ew! Ew! You like crack your neck?
like a little read, just like,
ew! Chance! Ew! Virginia's hiding her face.
It's fun.
Ew!
I'm not ashamed of it.
Oh, good night. That made me ill.
Yeah, well, Hey, different strokes for different folks, I suppose.
The idea of you having sex and going,
like a pilot that just landed a plane.
Virginia is cowering in the corner right now.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
This is what happens when I'm on this side of the camera. Things get steamy. Casey, we got to get some windshield wipers for these lenses.
God.
My God, the crowd's roaring. There's about 30,000 people in here.
Oh, man, that made my stomach turn.
Yeah, imagine how I feel.
But yeah, the idea of having sex every time makes me feel pretty neat.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Alma. Alma is on a mission to simplify access to high-quality, affordable mental health care. Alma has built a community of over 20,000 diverse therapists. Therapists on the platform offer both in-person and virtual care. While online tools and resources can be a useful starting point or supplement, human relationships are an irreplaceable part of mental health care. Alma can help you find someone who will work with you on your specific needs and goals and support you in making real progress in improving your mental health. Usually when I want to make progress on improving my mental health, I just stop hanging out with my mother-in-law for a little bit. You know what I mean, Chance? All jokes, guys. We love our advertisers for real. We would never make light. Alma also makes things real simple to find a therapist, okay? Some people turn to impersonal online resources like forums or chatbots because they think finding a therapist is expensive and difficult, okay? The directory makes it easy to find therapists that take your insurance and meet your unique needs with filters like gender, race, therapeutic approach, and more. Normally, when you're filtering by those things, it's weird. But when you're doing it with a therapist, buddy, that can be really important. Know the cost of your sessions up front using Alma's cost estimator tool. At Alma, 97% of therapists accept insurance, including United, Aetna, Cigna, and more. Better with people, better with Alma. Visit helloalma.com/sotrue to get started and schedule a free consultation today. That's helloalma.com/SOTRUE. Guys, for real, when was the last time you needed to go to a doctor but you pushed it off? You made an excuse like it'll heal on its own, or I'm too busy, or maybe I don't even know which doctor to go to. I'm always doing stuff like that every day. I think we've all been there. Booking a doctor appointment can just feel so daunting. But thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, and you don't have to meet with all of them. It's not like you don't have to meet with all 100,000 doctors. That's not what that is. From mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, are a good fit for any medical needs you may have, and have highly rated reviews by verified patients. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a viz. That's how we say visit in the business. Appointments made through ZocDoc also happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/SoTrue to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/SoTrue. ZocDoc.com/SoTrue. This episode is sponsored by our friends at Aura Frames. Mother's Day is upon us, folks. Don't get caught buying the same old gifts this year like sweaters, candles, or heaven forbid another bathrobe. Your mother deserves better than all that. Named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter, Aura Frames are guaranteed to mix things up this year. Mother's Day should be a day to show your mom just how much you appreciate all the simple things she's done for you, like buying shoes or giving you the gift of life. Ever heard of it? And a brand new way to display all her favorite photos is a great way to do just that. Aura Frames come with unlimited storage, so you can share as many photos as you want from your phone to mom's Aura Frame. Not only will she be grateful it's not another sweater, she'll also love that an Aura Frame means she gets to see more of you. And don't even worry about having to wrap this gift yourself. Every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver Matte Frame. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code SOTRUE. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions do, of course, as always, apply.
The first time I ever felt maybe cool in my entire life, it was my freshman year of high school, and it was the homecoming dance. And I hadn't even heard of grinding, or freaking, as one version of it. And this was 2009, 2010 school year. Folks were grinding and going nuts. And me and my little freshman football friends, we came to the dance, and a group of sophomore volleyball players descended on us. And they started doing the sexy grind dancing. And me and my friend turned to each other, and we were just like, like our faces were lit up, and we high-fived. We high-fived whilst dancing on this dance floor to like down or something like that.
Baby, are you down, 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 down?
Yeah.
Great song.
And we high-fived. You didn't, I don't think you liked my description of me feeling cool. That story.
It's hard to care. It's hard to care about, because you have to understand what you're asking me to get excited by.
Sure.
And I'm feeling so happy to have you on the show right now, because with a normal guest, I'd have to like feign interest in that. But what you're asking me to care about is two freshmen and high school boys getting grinded on by volleyball sophomores and high-fiving each other about it.
Yeah.
It is kind of antithetical to anything I would ever care about.
Sure.
But of course, I'm happy that you felt cool.
Yeah.
And I thank you for sharing and bringing your truth to the show in many ways.
Yes.
But yeah, if you're clocking a disinterest in me, it is just because that's the kind of thing I've spent my whole life actively not caring about.
How many tap-out shirts do you think I owned?
I struggle to imagine.
I got the number in my head. Would you like to guess?
Well, you guys were poor.
Yes.
So I'm going to start there. And I know at least a couple of them you cut off for two-a-days in football.
That's absolutely right.
I'm thinking tap-out shirts for Chance in high school. Nixon, Missouri, 2009, 2010.
Shout out Eagles.
Go Eags. I'm thinking you must have had 14 of them.
That's a little high. I had 9.
See, at 14, I was like, I felt that 20 would be crazy on the money spectrum.
Right.
And 9 is still a lot.
It is a lot, but there was a there was a store in the Battlefield Mall in Springfield, Missouri that was half a MMA like apparel store and half like a hookah store, and it was ran by a guy that went to the same. I went to an MMA gym for like 5 years, and this guy ran it, and he gave me discounts on everything. It was all like second and third run like tap out stuff. This is when tap out was really popular, and I loved wearing it. I thought it was so cool until I had somebody tell me, oh, it was my youth pastor. My youth pastor told me, do you know what I see when I see you wearing that shirt? And I go, no, what? And he goes, I see a guy that's asking the world, hey, fight me. And I don't think that's you. And I was like, you're right.
That's weirdly helpful and poignant.
Yeah.
Nice of the youth pastor to bring that up.
It was really nice of him.
Shout out.
And I kind of stopped wearing them after that. And I think history will show that I was correct to stop wearing tap-out shirts.
I want to mold some young people.
You do?
I want to mold some young people directly like that.
What kinds?
I just feel, my little cousins, I'm leaving my mark on them. I'm getting my little thoughts into their head.
Yeah.
They say things sometimes and I go, when you say things like that, I don't think it sounds very nice. Or I get to say, that they're not mean kids though. But I get to say little ideas for them. I get to tell them little things I think about the world. I think that they probably will grow up and have a moment like this where they say, my cool older cousin once told me this thing and it fucking changed the way I think about things.
Yeah.
And I probably won't know what those things are until later in life, if ever.
Yeah.
But I'd like to mold some of the youth.
Have you had a moment where you're looking at like, it doesn't even have to be your cousins because they're quite young, but even like just a younger person, and you say something and you see in their eyes they're going to remember this for the rest of their life?
I don't know.
Okay.
I talk to a lot of people I talk to that are come up and say they're like fans of the show or whatever.
Yeah.
They're quite a bit younger than me.
Yeah.
A lot of 21-year-olds.
Okay.
And I will sometimes be interacting with them and think, you are not accustomed to talking to an adult. Right. I will say something not mean, but like assured and confident.
Yeah.
And honest.
Yeah.
They'll be like, sorry, I hate to be weird. And I'm like, and yet you are.
Right.
And I'm kidding.
Right.
But they're so shaken by that.
Yeah, yeah.
That I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot you're like a child.
Yeah, that is funny. I love whenever you get recognized and I'm around, because I fall into this thing where I just start smiling because I'm like, what's true is I'm like, God damn it, we're late for lunch or whatever it is, and it's like they're always so sweet. We've never had, at least when I'm with you, like somebody I'm like, whoa, this like back the fuck off. They're always very sweet, very gracious, and I always just stand there and go, I'm just like smiling, and when they leave, I say out loud, thank you.
Yeah, you too.
I don't know why. I just go, thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
You grabbed my forearm, guide me away.
You just got to meet your favorite comedian. Thank you. Talk soon.
God, I had a bad one recently. I was walking into Skylight Books in Los Feliz, and this dumb, straight buffoon
Okay.
just yelled. Sorry, he was.
It was me.
He just yelled over to me from like 5 feet away. He goes, "Aren't you that funny guy?"
Oh, fuck.
And I, without looking at him and not breaking my gait, I just went, "If you say so," and kept walking. What is that? Aren't you that funny guy?
Oh, my God.
That's so useless. You don't even know who I am and you're bothering me?
Just like you're walking down the street, someone just points, TikTok!
Basically.
It's TikTok! Look!
It's basically that, where I'm like, you don't even know who I am. You don't, there's no reason you should need to say anything to me.
Right. Yeah. That's so funny.
If you had been like, if he had been like, oh my God, I love your stuff. Could I take a picture? I'd been like, of course. But aren't you that funny guy?
Aren't you that funny guy?
Go to prison.
Dance for me, clown.
Dance, clown. Yeah, that is so. But that's your guys' culture.
It is. We love to call people out. We love to shout. We love to.
What do you think we're going to do about men? Let me take this opportunity. You're a straight guy.
Oh, boy.
You're a straight guy.
Yeah.
One of the straightest I know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. And aside from kind of your tastes, the musical theater throws a real curveball in there. But you're a straight guy, and you're around a lot of straight guys, and we're from the same part of the country.
It's true.
What are we gonna do about y'all?
I think exposure therapy is the #1 thing that could fix these boys, our men and boys. I think so much of the nastiness and the bad energy, the bad takes, the bad outfits, all of these things all stems from the fact that like they've never met another person that's different from them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was so fortunate to like like you said, the musical theater of it all, doing like theater growing up and whatnot, and meeting gay people, meeting like lesbians, meeting people who even back then were like, I don't know about my gender, like just engaging with that as normalcy fixed a lot of the weird prejudices that I came, my factory settings were like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not normal. This is going to be on the news. This, like whatever.
Yeah, you effectively like Final Destination your way out of becoming the guy you were destined to become.
That's correct.
You were supposed to be like a Trump supporting deadbeat dad in Missouri.
Yeah.
And I think I also have that within me.
Yeah.
And what happened to me was that I'm gay.
Right.
And so that just took me a whole other direction.
Yeah.
But was it theater for you?
I think it was theater. I think just like, that's the thing is, I think it was Pete Holmes said this on his podcast about his mom. His mom was saying something about like, oh, I don't know this about gay people, whatever. And Pete was like, Mom, you've never met a gay person, like that you know of. Like you've never met an out gay person. Why do you have this perspective on them? And like, well, I just what I hear on TV. Or like some people's worldview is so crafted by these like outlets that have an agenda and whatnot. And as soon as there was a stretch there for like almost a decade where I didn't not live with a gay person the entire time. I had gay roommates most of my 20s. Yeah. And let me tell you, you were one of them.
Shout out.
And there have been other ones that varying degrees of loud in the bedroom. And it sounds like you fellas are having a good time in there. And there were a couple times I gave a couple taps on the wall like, hey, good work.
There's just two guys in there going, Virginia has covered her face once more.
It's two guys in there going,
oh. Chance and I got on this really funny kick on tour where we were being just doing like some kind of like gotcha moment. Just being like, if your mother says so. Ow. That guy as like a mobster.
Yeah.
Ugh. But Chance, stop fucking around.
Okay.
Why did you turn out to be one of the straight guys who's down for the cause? What are we going to do to our men and boys to make them more like you?
I think
in some ways,
I had a good in some ways. I had good family members. I have some bad family members, but I have some good family members that were very pivotal to just like me understanding, because I've been like this my entire life. I've been like fucking like
yeah.
that sort of thing, which you hate,
I do.
and I'm sure the audience will now learn to hate. But I've just
learned to hate.
You're all gonna learn to hate me by the end of this.
No,
but I've just always had like kind of a high RPM that I do stifle whenever I'm behind the cameras for this, where I'm just like, nope, that's not what my role is. My role is to laugh and take notes. But yeah, like, I was always just so wild and rambunctious and stuff. I was not easy to be around as a child. I would like recite whole episodes of SpongeBob from memory to people. People thought I was annoying. Kids, teachers thought I was annoying.
The community could only agree that I was a nuisance.
That's correct. And I found early on in my life, a lot of the kids that were nice to me ended up being like queer kids like later on, and they were very much, they probably didn't even know, obviously in like elementary school, what that meant. They didn't have language for it. They were just like, I don't know, I think they saw in me somebody who also was like, people were kind of looking down their noses at, and I was getting sad because it was like, I'm just being myself. Like, you don't like the Tasmanian devil in your second grade classroom? What's wrong? And like these like kids would just kind of like, there was a lot of my recesses were walking around collecting rocks. You know what I mean? Like walking around with a kid who is now like happily married to another man, and we would just like collect rocks and talk about like, I think Dragon Ball Z is about more than just the violence. And and I think that's part of it, is just like feeling a bit like an outcast, which is so lame for me to say as a straight white man, but like, as a child, everybody is so like nervous and like scared of what people think of them in school, especially their friends, the cool kids, and like all that stuff. So a lot of it started there, and then honestly, it grew into I had a really great teacher. I had two great teachers in high school, Miss Fleetwood and Mr. Townsend. They were the two theater teachers, and this was my, I think, freshman year of high school. We were having some sort of like spirited political debate in the class, and I still thought I was Republican at that point, even though almost none of my beliefs like really aligned with that stuff. And I was like, something, 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 someone said something, and I was like, well, you know, as a Republican, I think I can say, hilarious. And Mr. Townsend, he just goes, ha! And I go, what? And he's like, you're not a Republican. I was like, what do you mean? Yes, I am. That's how I feel. He goes, you don't have enough money to be a Republican.
King. King.
Like, fuck. I think he's right.
King.
And that was the first time I like cross-examined myself in that way. I was like, you know what? What do I believe in? And what I came to, and I think this may be a piece of advice for our men and our boys, is just learn how to be like, oh, okay. As simple as that. Just be able to be like, oh, okay, cool. To most people's things. Yeah. When most people come to you and are like, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, this is how I identify, whatever it is, instead of your first instinct being, what? What? No, that can't be.
Why different? Why different?
Right. What? That's not how this day was supposed to go. Why am I being confronted with change and a challenge? Just go, oh, okay, cool. What kind of music do you like? Right. You know what I mean? Like, the most interesting thing about a person, I believe, is not like what they're, you know, what they prefer in the bedroom, what they want to like get married to, all these things. I think it's a beautiful piece of your identity, and I love that about you. But I've never been this person that's like, because you feel this way or because this is how you identify or what you want to do, that is an affront to how I feel, and I don't want any part of it.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I feel that way about straight people.
You do. Well, you keep me around.
I have several straights in my life. It's hard. I keep them around mostly as an experiment, and also I'll need somewhere to hide probably pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think I'm hoping that their house will have some sort of basement or something.
I'm a warm embrace.
Pardon?
I'm like an island in a storm.
What?
I wanna push you around. Oh, I will. Oh, I will.
You knew how to get me. You knew how to get me. Put a little matchbox on.
I'll protect you when it all comes apart. But you think you can beat me up?
I know that I could beat you up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How would you do it?
I would come right at you and put my arms around you and throw both of us to the ground. And then I would stay on top of you and elbow you in the head until you died.
That is a really great strategy. And what you should do, what you don't know, is I'm pretty quick and I will sidestep you.
You're not quick enough.
I'm kicking your kneecap out and blowing out your knee. And then you're going to go to the ground and I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to elbow until you, I won't kill you.
If I'm on the ground, I'm grabbing your leg, I'm biting it very hard and breaking the skin, probably taking a chunk out.
Yeah.
And then when you're screaming in pain, I'm punching your other knee into the wrong direction. And then when you fall down, I'm rolling over on top of you and I'm elbowing you in the head until you die.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, while you're biting my leg, I'm getting rock hard. And I'm getting excited, and I go, you know what? I've got a level of adrenaline right now that, and I know that's weird to say, but you know what? Maybe biting does it for me, and this is something that we're all learning about me right now, and I've got a kick of adrenaline.
I bite Chance in his leg, and he goes,
oh, and I'm doing one of these. I'm wrapping around your waist, and we're both going for a ride. I'm suplexing you over my shoulder through a glass coffee table.
I'm taking your shirt from the back and I'm pulling it over your face so you can't see.
Hockey style.
And I'm throwing haymakers up under the shirt, destroying your face until you die. And then I'm throwing you on the ground. And if you're not dead yet, I'm kneeling on your chest over and over again. I'm doing like this, ta, 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 and I'm like throwing knees into your chest. Yeah. And you're going, please, sir, stop, 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 stop. And then I'm elbowing you in the head some more.
You know what I'm doing in that? I'm not saying no, please, sir, stop. I'm like trying to grab at you. I'm like gently touching like front of the legs, trying to grab at your wrists. I'm pathetic. I'm like clearly defeated, and I'm going, I didn't want it to go this way. You mean so much to me, and it's just like, I'm sorry for what I did, and then I fucked up so bad. And all the while, I'm grabbing a brick, and I'm gonna smash your temple in.
All right,
and I win.
We're doing the true or false segment. I think it's pretty clear that most of that's getting cut.
Well.
All right, you ready?
Oh, is this? Yes.
Chance.
Yes.
I'm going to read you. I'm doing things a little out of order to keep you on your toes.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to read you 15 statements. You're going to tell me as quickly as you can if you think that what I just said is true or false. If you get 10 or more correct, you get to keep your job.
Wow.
If you get fewer than 10 correct, this will be your final week of employment with the show.
Okay, let's do it.
The tattoo on John Wick's back is Fortis Fortuna Adiuvat. Can't say it right.
True?
That is true. Cats have more bones than humans.
False.
True. They have 250. We have 206. Most Def was originally supposed to play Al Pacino in the film Tropic Thunder.
True.
That is true. Catfish have scales.
False.
False. They have smooth barbel-covered skin.
I love barbel.
The largest recorded tornado by width touched down in Joplin, Missouri.
I know it was a big one, but the largest ever True?
It's false. It was in Oklahoma. Jack of Jack Daniels is short for Jasper.
True.
That is true. Quick Trip has locations in 17 states.
True.
That is true. Buffalo Wild Wings was founded in 1979.
True.
False. 1982.
Fuck.
Your first date with Kara was at the Will Hoyt Theater.
What the fuck?
Your first date with your long-term girlfriend Kara was at the Will Hoyt Theater.
So this is whoever Virginia. Thank you so much for this level of specificity. That I have a note because that is technically false.
Oh, we don't need notes.
It's false.
It is false.
Okay, good. Okay,
Is at the AMC.
That's right. Okay,
And you saw 4 movies and it was your birthday.
We met at the Will Hoyt, and yes, that's true.
Nixon, Missouri's city flag was updated in 2023.
True.
True.
Yeah.
The dogwood is the state tree of Virginia.
False.
True. Also Missouri.
What?
Nelly, the St. Louis rapper's legal name is Cornell Haynes.
True.
That is true. Your girlfriend Kara's astrological sign is Pisces.
False.
False. It's
Cancer?
yeah. Jim Carrey is a U.S. citizen.
I mean, he's from Canada, but true?
It is true. He has dual citizenship since 2004.
Wow.
Missouri State is older than Mizzou.
False. False.
It is false. How do you do?
11.
You hear that, Mama? I get to keep my job.
That sucks. I really wanted to fire you.
Why?
I just thought it'd be interesting for the plot. What's so true to you, Chance Nichols?
What's so true to me? God, I have to think about it for a while. No, I know.
No chance. No chance you haven't been losing sleep over this for a week and a half.
You're right. And it's just kept, yeah. No, mine's so true.
What do you think about anti-anxiety medication?
This is what you asked me. Caleb asked me. We were at an Arby's, or no, it was a Carl's Jr. in like Vancouver, or on the road from Vancouver or something. And I was just sitting there, kind of sweating, and he was like, "Have you ever thought about taking medication?"
I also asked it to you in a hotel room in Portland.
You did.
I've been bringing it up a lot, you might notice.
You have. I'll think about it.
But what's your so true?
You know what's so true to me? People who walk their dogs off leash in public, like on a public street, are going to hell when they die.
Yeah, and hell's real and they're going.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hell's real and they are going.
Speak of that.
I don't care about if it's a dog park, obviously have the dog off a leash. If it's a regular park and your dog's well behaved and you want to play fetch or whatever, let it roam around, that's a different thing. This comes from a personal experience of mine. When we were living in Chicago, I was walking down Broadway in Lakeview, and just some asshole had his dog off leash walking down like on the sidewalk, and another dog across the way sitting at an outdoor, like on the patio of an outdoor cafe, started barking and freaking out because they saw that dog, and the unleashed dog started barking too, and the owner's like, no, no, no. Unleashed dog runs across the street, gets hit by a bus. And that could have all been avoided if you had simply gone and clipped your dog to. Who are you impressing? Who is this for? That your dog is off leash. Do you think people are turning and going, holy shit, that person must be a really strict trainer. Oh my God, this is incredible. Wow, what a man, what a woman.
Your nipples. Don't touch your nipples while you do it.
It just starts to happen.
Virginia hit her face again.
It really just starts to happen.
Virginia hit her face again.
But I'm just like, to what end? What are you getting out of this? That your dog, that you are making it unsafe for yourself, your animal, and others?
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah. Also, if your dog doesn't get to go everywhere, I'm sorry.
Yeah, dogs.
Your dog does not get to go everywhere. Your dog does not belong at this cafe. Take that fucking dog home.
Yeah.
Your dog does not. By the way, I say this sometimes when people act like I hate dogs. I'm a dog lover.
Yeah.
I love dogs.
Same.
They do not need to be at dinner.
True.
And by the way, it's fucked up that people get their non-service animals registered as service animals.
Yeah.
That is fucked up and weird. And the fact that we act like it's not strange is really bizarre to me.
It's very weird. It's ableist. Like it's crazy.
It's ableist and it's trivializing people who actually need it. And I'm not even like that. Like I'm not even like living out like that.
Yeah.
But it is weird that people have just been like, oh yeah, it's cool to trivialize people who actually need service animals so you can bring your dog to dinner because you like hanging out with him.
Yep.
That I can't believe people are getting away with that.
Me neither. And that's the thing is, service animal dog, they're at work. They are trained to just sit there and do their job. Your shaky little fucking falling apart chihuahua that screams anytime it's looked at should not be at this coffee shop.
Yeah.
You know
Also,
what I mean?
there should be, you know how when you're getting on a plane, there's a little thing that says if your bag doesn't fit in this, you can't bring it on. They should have that at every establishment that allows dogs.
Yes.
If your dog doesn't fit in this thing, it needs to go home.
You can't have a Newfoundland at the coffee shop.
Your Doberman does not belong at brunch.
No.
Send him home.
That's right.
And if you can't bear to be away from him, you stay home with him.
That's right.
Keep your ass out of public as well.
Yeah, and my thing about the leash thing, that comes from a place as an animal lover. Like, as somebody, I'm like, we have a responsibility to these creatures that we have decided to pair our life with to keep them safe. And part of that is keeping them on a fucking leash whenever they're out in the human world that is designed for people who have a concept of, oh, don't cross the street at any, you know what I mean?
Right, don't run in front of the bus.
Yeah, it's like, have your dog roam free in safe areas. I'm talking, it's like, when I see it, it's very rare. I don't love conflict that much, but it's one of those things where when I see it, I'll look at a person, I'll go, what the fuck? And they'll be, oh, what? Why isn't your dog's leash on? And they'll just be like, oh, you should fuck off. And they'll kind of wander away. I've only done it one time. You're hearing an example of, oh, fuck off. Yeah.
That's beautiful, Chance.
You think so?
I really, really do.
Oh, do you have any other questions for me?
I'm on board with your so true. I asked you what's so true. I did true or false. I guess is there anything that we didn't get to that you're dying to have in your episode?
Not really.
Anything you want to tell the people?
Hey guys, I see the comments and I like them. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. Keep being kind to me. Keep second guessing my true or false questions all you want. I know I'm right, and that's all that matters. But I do love you all, and you all have given me, you and Casey, everybody has given me an incredible life that I'm very happy, and a lot of it is to do with you all, the fans, the truthers, the celebrities, the lesbians, the chancers now. There are chancers, and we are strong, and we are growing. And, when I launch my podcast that I've been working on and thinking of, I hope that you'll all come and listen.
I hope that you guys will, too. Go listen to the Chancers. Can go listen to Chance's podcast.
Caleb's going to be on it every week.
And if you're a doctor who prescribes anxiety medication and you had a client who was pretty anxious but was worried about pills, maybe just reach out in the DMs to the show page and let us know what you think.
If you want to mail me a bag of pills, go ahead.
No, we're not going to mail Chance a bag of pills.
I thought that's what you were asking for.
Who's your dream guest to have on So True?
My dream guest to
like
have
the
on.
number one person in the world that you're like, if they could be on So True, it would just do everything to me. Maybe the Chancers and K-Celebrities can rally and start tagging this person.
Oh my God. My number one person ever?
For you.
For me.
Not for me, for you.
It's a tie between it's one media person and one football player. It'd either be Will Ferrell. I would love to get Will Ferrell on here.
Okay.
I'd love to chat with him.
Okay.
Or Patrick Mahomes.
I love it.
I'd love to get Pat in here, chop it up about Texas, do all that good stuff. And I think we could. I
doubt that Pat will come on the show. Will Ferrell feels like a much safer bet.
Yeah, maybe Travis Kelce.
Travis seems we have more Travis is way cooler than Pat, let's be honest. Travis is way cooler than Pat.
Sorry, Pat.
I love him to death. He is many seasons has been a great football player, has made my city much cooler. His wife's politics make me think that he might not be so cool. I don't know, Pat. You're gonna have to start speaking up if you don't want people to think these things, brother. Your weird wife is shooting her fucking mouth off all the time, being pro-Trump. It makes me think that maybe you're cool with it, dog. So to Patrick Mahomes, I would say, hey, love you to death, brother. Thank you for what you do. I'm very concerned about your private beliefs about the world. And Travis, I don't have those concerns. I think Travis is above board. I love the whole Kelce family. Shout out Kylie. Love your podcast. Shout out Jason. You seem cool as fuck. I think they're doing things a little different over there. And frankly, shout out Taylor as well.
I'd also love to have Uma Thurman on
the
show.
Thank you so much, Chance. This was beautiful.
Bye.
That was a Headgum podcast.